Audacity is a film that deals with probably the biggest hot topic issue of our day.
Audacity is a Christian response to the issue of homosexuality.
And it really comes out of an experience I had. I flew from Germany to London, and when I was on the plane, I sat next to a middle-aged gentleman, and I said to him, "How you doing? Do you have a family?" He says, "I have a husband." And it was like, thud. How do I answer that? I didn't stare out the window for the next hour and a half. We related to each other and we chatted, but it made me realize how difficult this issue is for the average Christian.
Anyway, I just wanted Ray to kind of give his vision on the script. I just wanted to give him a chance to talk about it.
Yeah, I'd like to give a little bit of background myself. This comes out of my own conviction as a Christian, as Eddie shared. Peter is a sincere Christian who wants to share his faith, but in these days, if you open your mouth and mention God, you're a fundamentalist, anti-science, Bible thumper sort of guy, and he's very nervous about it.
Peter's a really interesting character. He's this young man who wants to do the right thing as a Christian, who is faced with the dilemma of how to properly speak the truth and yet dealing with his own fears and apprehensions and struggles.
Peter is a normal, everyday Christian living in America today. He's not a pastor, he's not overly religious. You know, one of the things that's different about Audacity from other Christian films, there are no scenes in a church or in a pastor's office, and it's very non-religious in its setting.
Diana is not a Christian. She believes in God. She prays like many people. I think most people in America pray.
And she's bought into this whole idea that if you are not pro-homosexuality, well then you actually are against homosexuals and you hate them. And she's very friendly with her co-star, Peter, until she finds out that he's a Christian.
So, do you believe gay people should be stoned?
Of course not.
Well, your book says that.
No, actually, I was reading yesterday, and...
You know what? I don't want to offend you, but I have a sister who's gay. And you don't know the struggle she's been through from people who are telling her that she's gonna go to hell for, what, loving someone?
Right.
And you have the audacity to tell me that she's going to hell. Go on, say it.
Here we are, scouting for our movie. We need a desolate place at night on the railway track, and Eddie's doing this little scouting with his iPad. Hello. So
1 in 50.
For
Oh,
you.
what are the chances? Oh, for me?
Yeah.
It's the
1 in
dog.
50.
Okay.
That's the dog.
1, 2, 3, 6.
You have to eat the dog bone? Oh, that's Sam, I'm sorry.
So disturbing.
That's why I don't play those games.
I can't believe you did it.
You know?
It's a hive of activity around here. Everywhere you look, there's people. I think there's about 25 people and working here. Excuse me, Scotty. Here's the lead. We're going to go past him. The lead actor. He's in his pajamas. You think he'd look dressed up for the shot, wouldn't you?
It's my seat now.
Didn't even know he was here.
This is how you make movies.
We're gonna start with a wide shot of the room, empty room.
Okay.
Then it goes into this.
Okay.
And then you're saying come around from the other side and then we're closer on
Okay.
the things. Yeah.
What you up to, Mark?
I'm a script supervisor. I make sure that continuity is right, that the coffee is not half full or half empty, and then I just make sure that I write down what's the best angle, what's the best shot. And then,
So how does that help Eddie?
well, he doesn't have to watch all the shots that we did. He can just go right to my notes and he knows what shot he likes.
Great.
I pray that we would have a cohesiveness amongst us, that we would esteem each other greater than ourselves. We pray that you would be glorified and that the scene would be perfect. Whatever that may mean and whatever that may look like, that you would take control, God.
Yeah, I like how
So here we are in the makeup tent this morning. A lot of us don't need makeup. Some of us do. All of us do. All of us do. She does a great job here. Every day, comes to work, hustles. We've only had 2 days so far, so she could mess that up.
They tell you to get beautiful on camera, and then they tell you to get ugly.
This is Mark Spence and I.
I dropped my script.
He's in charge of dropping the script. This is our TV. We just like to watch TV all day, so that's what we're doing here. We just like to hang out in a liquor store watching TV. That's what we do.
Away from everybody.
That's right.
Are we good with the light? Yep. Okay, cool. All right, let's go to picture. Here we go. Picture's up. Lock it up, please.
I'm here with Amanda and Jason, and they've been pretty much sitting around all day, and now they're about to kick it into high gear, all right? So this is one of the most dramatic scenes in the whole film, and so my question for these guys is, how do you do that? How do you go from like hanging out, watching everyone do their work, and all of a sudden, just like that, you gotta turn it on. So what do you guys do?
I guess I'm up first. You just try to take the adrenaline of the moment. I mean, you've got cop cars rushing at you, you've got lights flashing, you've got guns, fake guns of course, pointed at you, so you use that from whatever you've done as far as your training, as far as your experiences, whatever experiences those may be, and then you just bring that about. And you have to understand that your heart rate has to go up a little bit, your breathing has to change, volume, voice, pacing, all of that, and you just get your energy pumped. So that's my process.
That's like exactly for me too. Like having him like actually hold me in a chokehold really tight with the gun to my head. It's not that hard to act afraid, you know? And then all these cop cars here. And I've played a couple victim roles before as well, so I'm a little used to it. And like breathing like really heavily really helps you like get into it. But it's easy when someone's holding you with a gun to your head. Because I really am scared.
Well, I was trying to get the gun to go off, but Eddie won't do it. I was trying to talk him into having the bad guy shoot his gun at you guys, hit a couple of you.
Oh, that'd be awesome.
Are those cameras on? Yes. Are those cameras recording?
Yes.
Give me the cash. I need the cash now! Are those cameras on? Are those cameras working? Shut up! Are those cameras on? Are they recording?
No, yes.
No or yes? Which one?
Yes.
Give me the cash. I need the cash now!
Nobody pays with cash anymore.
We've got 4 police cars we've ordered here, and we've got 9 officers. They're going to arrest one guy, beat him down. Must be a New Zealander because it takes 9 Americans to get 1 New Zealander. Looking good.
Thank you, sir.
You're looking good. Every single time. Rick, get the glass out of your mouth.
Now.
You're on walk.
Just want you guys to know that we have no real weapons on set. These are all 100% solid rubber. All right, there's no chamber of any kind, so these are fake, and anybody can take a look.
We strove for excellence with this movie. Come and show. I'll show you what we did. This is where we're filming the robbery sequence. This sign has been specially made for this movie.
Spots, open your door. You're coming out here, so here you go.
Oh yeah.
Put your gun down.
Close the front door.
Multiple takes.
Let me explain something here. We don't know if we can go ahead with this movie because our proofreader, Lynn Copeland, is a perfectionist, and Alan noticed the double spacing there. So she's gonna be really mad. I spent some time working on this. This is a fake foam can of spinach, so it's not gonna hurt the guy, hopefully.
Came to save us from hell.
Don't get me wrong, I believe in God. It's just that my God doesn't
damn people to hell just because they're different. Yeah.
So the scene we're shooting right now is with Peter and Diana, and it's really pivotal because this is a part where kind of the foundation is laid for Peter eventually sharing the gospel with Diana. So, and they were just doing rehearsal, man. See the tears.
Now, how much time is going to be good for the one?
Well, I was on my way to Huntington Beach one day to open air preach on a Saturday, as I normally do. Saw two females walking towards me, kissing each other, and I perceived, having a spirit of perception, they were probably lesbian. So I stopped them and said, would you come on camera? And to my surprise, they said they would. They gave me a 14-minute interview that was phenomenal in the way it ended. They said, thank you for talking to us. You haven't been at all judgmental. And yet I hadn't compromised the gospel in the slightest. I'd merely stayed with the biblical principle of not addressing the intellect, but speaking to the conscience. And that was like a provocation, an impetus to proceed with a movie on homosexuality because it gave me a direction in which we could go.
I was asked by a friend, if your son was to grow up and become a homosexual, would you still love him? You know, that's a pretty deep question, you know? You think about that, that's a pretty deep question. So I thought about it, and my response to my friend was, well, I would hope that my response to my son would be the same response to him choosing any sinful lifestyle. So if my son was to grow up and become a lying politician or a bank robber or any other thing that's a lifestyle of sinful behavior, I would hope that my response would be, son, I love you, I care about you, and I'm concerned that your lifestyle is sinful, and then I'd preach the gospel to him, right? And so the issue isn't whether or not you love your son, because all of us love our kids. The issue is homosexuality a sin or is it not? And the Bible's clear, it's a sin. It's not the only sin, it's not the most dreaded sin, but it is a sin. And just like all other sins, Jesus Christ offers salvation, God offers forgiveness for those who put their faith in Him and turn from their sin.
And remember, homosexuals are not our enemies. You know, they're not our enemies. If you have a different worldview than us, you're not our enemy. We can agree to disagree and go get a cup of coffee. And I think that Christians are often vilified as the enemy because they have this opposing worldview. You don't need to be afraid to speak up, at least not yet in this society.
In the final analysis, the bottom line is, look, we do the right thing. We love God and we love people. By being willing to obey Him and by being willing to give people the truth that will radically change their lives.
And so the message of Audacity isn't a message of hate, it's a message of hope.
So you understand the gospel, the main message of the Bible?
I think so. We're sinners and Jesus can save us.
Right, well, Jesus came to die on the cross for sinners, yeah. So when you turn away from sin and you put your faith in Him, then you're saved from the punishment you deserve.
This is a movie that's basically evangelistic. We want those who are in death, heading for hell, to hear the message of the cross and repentance and faith, and they can be saved from a terrible eternity. And if Christians on the way watch it and become equipped on how they can share their faith without sounding hateful, that's great.
We are here on the set of Audacity, about ready to film, I believe to be the most exciting part of Audacity.
Is that a real tattoo you got there?
You know, it's not. I'm sorry. And they only got one teardrop. I'm really disappointed. I was expecting to get 3. I think I've proven and got my stripes.
Mariano loves the Lord. He said he wants to be my bodyguard when I go up in here preaching, but watch this, do me. Look at that. Now back to think of the cross, Jesus dying for you. Isn't that cool? Good to have you here, man.
Thank you, Ray. You're awesome, bro. You don't listen to Ray, I'll knock your head off.
This is the power.
It's made of sugar and water.
Great, so we're gonna eat it after.
I'm gonna get a piece afterwards and lick it. I'm really excited.
I could do that too, you know?
Can we close that back then where we got everything out?
Stand by. Ready and
action! ¡Abre la puerta! ¡Abre la puerta!
That was smoking.
That was great.
It's 2:08.
Straight out of
2:08. So we need some beauty sleep. Not easy to.
Where's my bed?
Someone could move that back, actually.
Any possibility of harming
Alternative right now.
I hope they haven't seen real glass.
So we'll get that up.
That'd be funny, real joke on us.
He's coming up right now.
all right, stand by.
Anybody
for
see
that.
any bogeys? It's good, right?
Thank you. Focus on glass.
We're focusing on the glass.
And set.
Set.
Ready and
action! ¡Abre la puerta! Got it. Yeah.
all right, let's reset.
No, another glass of
Not at all. It's supposed to be sugar. It's not. It's real glass. Feels like real glass.
Very nice. Thank you very much. That's a wrap. Wrap it up.
Off the bed.
Well, 2 hours of driving.
Let's bring it in. Let's bring it in, folks. Let's hug it out. Let's get all close.
So now we're about to shoot the pivotal elevator scene.
My name is Vic Murphy, and I have a ministry called Action Sports Outreach, and we use skateboarding and motorcycles and bicycles to present the gospel presentation. And a big part of our ministry has been influenced by Way of the Master and the work that Ray Comfort has done. Just really sharing that simple gospel message that we're separated from God by our sin, and that God sent His Son to die for us and conquer death and will give us new life. So it's awesome to be able to be stunt double in this movie, because Ray's one of our heroes. Just really has influenced our ministry to be able to travel around the world and just lift Jesus up.
Seriously.
This is the comedy club scene where Ben does some stand-up comedy, and we're hoping it'll bring light relief into a dark subject.
And you're the MC, aren't you?
Yes.
I can tell your voice.
What am I doing here? Clearly, never been to a big budget Hollywood production. The catering is amazing. Pay no attention to this man in front of the camera. What am I doing here?
I thought you were going to sit me on your knee and humiliate me.
What would you like for Christmas?
No, please.
I think Audacity can be best summed up in the movie's subtitle, Love Can't Stay Silent. And in a day and age when love is perceived as something that contains the willingness to sort of hold truth back, it's important for us to recognize that the greatest expression of love is to speak the truth. So Audacity's real heart and aim is, hey, we have truth and we have a culture that shuns truth, but it's our responsibility as ambassadors of Jesus Christ to be willing to speak that truth and to speak it in love.
How about you two next to Drew here. Drew, raise your hand. Okay. All right. So if I could get you two, when that is said, you two are gonna look at each other and kind of talk. You know, react to each other like, I can't believe this. You know. On that side, you're gonna kind of laugh. You think the whole thing's a joke. You know. And then,
how about a wave?
There, you know, you have a choice.
That's for you, easy.
Let's have you.
It's a wave.
Right here in the picture. You're just gonna
So hey, where are you guys from and what are you guys doing here?
Oh, I'm from New Caledonia, and we're just passing by and just decided to come in and don't know what all the fuss is about.
Oh really? Do you know Ray at all?
Never heard of him. Never. What was his name again?
Ray Comfort.
No, never heard of him. No.
Okay. Well, glad you could be here.
Thank you.
This is like the big kaboom. This is going to be a special treat. Australia's Most Wanted. Please welcome.
Listen to me, Charlie. Hey. Don't mess with me. Hey. Don't mess with me.
So, I mean, I think Ray's going to meet a lot of people. I don't know if he meets, people like Barack Obama. You think you're a good person to run?
Approval rating says 42%.
I'd love it if you met George. I mean, I used to love George. I used to love Bill Clinton. When Bill Clinton was handing over, to George, he would say, "I want to show you around the Oval Office here." Ask you to sit in the corner. George, we're working with that. Thank you so much, guys. God bless.
Ray is always sharing the gospel. I've been with him since the turn of the century, and if there's one thing I've learned, it's to take every opportunity to share your faith. Here on the set, he's sharing with actors behind the scenes, extras during a break. He just takes every opportunity, and he's a great example to follow.
She's searching, she's thinking about the issues of life and death. And so I'd like to share a little bit about my testimony, where I come from, so that you can see why these convictions are in the script.
My mum was Jewish, she married a Gentile. Because I was born just after the Second World War, they put Methodist on my birth certificate, or the information about my birth, so I'd escape another Hitler the roast. So I was given no Christian instruction about God or anything for my whole life.
At the age of 20, I had some deep thoughts about the issues of life and death, and the thing that hit me is each of us are part of the ultimate statistic. 10 out of 10 die, and I had that kind of revelation. It was as though I thought, hang on, the whole of humanity standing in a line and stepping off a 1,000-foot cliff. No one's asking questions about it, but I want to know, can I get out of this line?
And I remember one night I sat on a bed, looked at my wife, and thought, she died, and I have nothing to live for. And I cried out, why?
1972, I was on a surfing trip with a young surfer. I didn't know he was a Christian. I didn't know he could become a Christian. And he shared with me the reason we die is because we've sinned against God.
Now, I didn't think I was a sinner until I saw the words of Jesus. He said in Matthew 5, "You've heard it said by them of old, you shall not commit adultery." And I thought to myself, well, if there's a heaven and a hell, I'm fine because I've never committed adultery.
But then I read the words of Jesus where he said, "But I say to you, whoever looks upon a woman and lusts for her has committed adultery already with her in his heart." And my revelation that night was that God sees the thought life. And I realized that night, if God saw my thought life and exactly what I was thinking when I look at young ladies, because I was like every other red-blooded guy, loved the sexual pleasure of lust. And I realized that on Judgment Day I'd be guilty and end up in hell. That was my big revelation. That's when I understood for the first time that Christ died for my sins, that I violated God's law, the 10 Commandments, a multitude of times. I was a guilty criminal. But God became a human being, Jesus of Nazareth, who then suffered on a cross to take the punishment for my sins. I broke God's law, Jesus paid my fine.
That means God can legally dismiss our case. If you're in court and you're guilty, and someone pays your fine, the judge can say, this fine's paid, you're out of here.
That's what God can do with you and I. He can dismiss our case, he can forgive our sins, and allow us to live, commute our death sentence because Christ paid our fine in his life's blood, rose from the dead, defeated death.
So I repented that night, April the 24th, 1972, 1:30 in the morning, became a new creature.
It was like I'd been living in darkness and God had brought me into the light. And I found millions of other people that had the same experience of conversion, being born again with a new heart, new desires. So as a Christian, for the last 42 years, I have lived solely to tell others just what I've told you today. That there is a way past this thing called death. That God, the creator of life, dwells in, granted everlasting life 2,000 years ago to all those that will soften their heart and just see what he has to say and obey what the gospel says. So that's the essence of what this is about. So every Christian has a moral obligation to stand up and counter. And that's why we produce this movie.
I don't want to offend you, but I have a sister who's gay. And you don't know the struggle she's been through from people who are telling her that she's gonna go to hell for, what, loving someone?
And where are these two gonna go if I pull the trigger?
How come the word homosexuality hasn't been in the Bible until a few decades ago? And if homosexuality is such an abomination, then why is the word abomination used to describe eating shellfish? And if God is love, then why is
I noticed when I came up, you two were kissing in public. You are obviously gay. What do you think of gay marriage?
I love gay marriage. I have a lot of gay friends. I love the gay community.
You two married?
No, we're not married.
Are you thinking of getting married?
Yes. And I think everybody should be able to love who they want to love, no matter if you love a woman or a man. Who cares?
Gay marriage, I think they should be able to do whatever they want.
Love is love. Love has no color.
I think that everyone should be free to marry who they want.
I just know that I love gay marriage. I love gay people.
So what does God think of homosexuality?
That's a stupid question.
I think you should just stay out of it.
I have a lot of gay friends that go to church every Sunday. They believe in God and they're gay. Are they gonna burn in hell for being gay?
Are people born that way?
I believe so. I was.
Do you think they're born that way?
They're born that way.
Sure? No attraction to men?
Nope.
And what about you?
So ever since the day I was born.
You've always had gay tendencies?
Always.
You've changed your mind?
Yeah, you enlightened me real fast.
Does that make sense?
Yes.
Does that make sense?
That makes sense, yeah.
That does make sense.
You're very good at this, honestly. This is actually a very good argument.
So I've been watching the videos that you showed me all day today. But I'm kind of starting to feel a little nervous because it's starting to all make sense.
Does that make sense?
It does. I have a question for you. Can you tell that I'm a lesbian?